Good morning. Welcome to our lovely and iconic Sacred Heart Chapel. My name is Thomas Poon, and I'm the Executive Vice President and Provost for Loyola Marymount University. Please join me in thanking our awe-inspiring musicians. I'm going to mention them by name. So we have Alex Budman on tin whistle, Hua Shihan on eru, Mark McAlien on didgeridoo, and Steve Pribble on Elian pipes, all under the amazing direction of John Flaherty. How about another round of applause? Thank you so much. It is my honor to present Dr. Timothy Law Snyder, Loyola Marymount University's 16th president. President Snyder has been a dedicated professor and administrator at Jesuit universities for more than 30 years. President Snyder holds 2 bachelor's degrees, a BA in psychology and a BS in mathematics from the University of Toledo, 2 master's degrees, an MA in applied and computational mathematics, and an MS in mathematics from Princeton, and 1 Ph.D. in applied and computational mathematics from Princeton. Kind of got lazy near the end there. His interdisciplinary experiences in education have led him to teaching and administrative positions at the Wharton School, Georgetown, Fairfield University, Loyola Maryland, and the Berklee School of Music. Many of us know that among President Snyder's professional, intellectual, and creative pursuits, he is an active musician. And word is, he's got something special cooking for this year's Christmas card. It's not fruitcake. In preparing to introduce President Snyder today, I was reflecting on how far LMU has come and how many astonishing things we have accomplished in just 4 short years under his leadership. Since President Snyder joined LMU in 2015, the university has earned Carnegie R2 and National University status, opened its 3rd campus in Playa Vista, which is the heart of LA's tech and innovation hub known as Silicon Beach, was selected to shelter the Omega chapter of Phi Beta Kappa, the nation's oldest and most prestigious academic honor society, has been a top Fulbright producer over the last 3 years with a total of 17 student awardees, increased the number of students who get global learning experiences through semester-long and course immersions by nearly 40%. And in athletics, we've won 3 WCC championships and made 4 NCAA tournament appearances in multiple sports. LMU has also seen its popularity increase from 12,000 to 18,500 first-time college applicants. Its selectivity improved from a 53% to a 44% admission rate, and its undergraduate enrollment grow from 6,087 students to 6,978 students. This means that approximately 15% more students now have access to a world-class Jesuit and Marymount education at LMU, one that has seen over 3,100 students participate in mentored research opportunities, and one that has been strengthened by the hiring of 95 tenure-line faculty, including 35 entirely new positions also under President Snyder's tenure. These diverse and interdisciplinary faculty join an already outstanding assembly of scholars and creative professionals dedicated to educating individuals for and with others. What we have done during President Snyder's time here is no small feat. We have managed to dream and dare as greatly as LMU's incredible potential, while keeping our efforts fully centered in LMU's special mission and purpose. Members of the LMU community, please join me in applauding the 16th president of Loyola Marymount University, President and Professor Timothy Law Snyder.
Thank you, Executive Vice President and Provost Poon. We welcome today members of the LMU Board of Trustees, Norma Provencio, and our chair, Paul Viviano. We welcome members of our Board of Regents, including Tina Hammers-Baker and Stephanie Younger. We welcome Executive Vice President and Chief Administrative Officer, Lynn Scarborough. We welcome LMU faculty, staff, and students. Shout out to the student workers. We welcome the Sisters of St. Joseph of Orange, the Religious of the Sacred Heart of Mary, Jesuits, interfaith clergy, alumni, and friends. And we always welcome our crafty and masterful musicians. We should give them another round of applause for that mind-bending performance. And I thank each of you for being with us this morning. I welcome our newest members of the LMU community, and each of you can stand one by one. These are welcomed along with our new faculty, staff, and students. Ashley Armstrong, Deputy Athletics Director. John Axtell, Associate Vice President for Communications. You can rise, it's okay. John G. Baker, Senior VP for University Advancement. Lindsay Crowell McCarthy, Assistant VP for Financial Aid. Amar Dalal, Assistant Vice Provost for Graduate Enrollment. Verna Donovan, Associate VP for Marketing and Brand Management. Deborah Schwartz, VP for Campus Safety and Security. And Jennifer Silverman, University Registrar. Thanks to each of you for helping us strengthen our ever-growing family of Lions. Let's have a round of applause for all our new colleagues and students. In yesterday's LMU This Week, I shared a spectrum of recent achievements. Today, I highlight a few of the many ways in which LMU is evolving to address the needs of our changing world. Begin with our academic rigor. We are an intellectual powerhouse, and the world has taken note. The achievements we celebrated last year, opening our Playa Vista campus, receiving a charter from Phi Beta Kappa, have set the stage for next-level impacts. Following Carnegie's reclassification of LMU as an R2 high research activity university, we indeed debuted on U.S. News' list of national universities at number 64 in the nation. That places us in the top 6 private colleges in California and in the top 4 of the Jesuit universities. This recognition marks the soaring achievements of our diverse faculty and student body. And as Provost Poon mentioned this year, another record, 18,500 plus students applied for undergraduate admission to LMU, and our admit rate dropped to a record low of 44%, demonstrating the desirable destination that we have become. We're also one of the greenest schools in America, not just outdoors. We are the 2019 national champions of Recyclemania, and for the first time in the tournament's history, one university swept both primary categories in the same year. That's LMU. Shout out to our facilities friends. We continue with our implicit bias initiative, creating awareness of our unconscious biases and cultivating a more equitable society. I thank Jennifer Abe and her team, along with Student Affairs, LMU Cares, for their leadership in this initiative. And I salute Senior Vice President and CFO Tom Fleming for his sure-handed leadership and legacy of sound financial management as he begins his final year in this role. Tom, shout out for you and thank you. Our campaign in the leadership phase is glowing in volume. It really is glowing in volume. And we will soon see a transformed Westchester campus, starting this December as we break ground for our new Howard B. Fitzpatrick SFTV Pavilion, and then next summer as we open our brand new residence halls. At our Playa Vista campus, we are forming new partnerships that will help revolutionize the creative industries, including showcasing our leadership in mixed reality storytelling in collaboration with Film Independent. Meanwhile, LMU ranks number 3 in the nation by Princeton Review for the students most engaged in community service, contributing 250,000 hours of service each year, along with an additional 60,000 at the LMU Loyola Law School. The law school's commitment to social justice has brought about the release of 9 wrongfully convicted citizens over the past 10 years. And a recent grant, amen. Thank you, Dean Waterstone. A recent grant from the U.S. Justice Department, which will fund post-conviction DNA testing, will hopefully deliver more reversals of such tragic decisions. We compete not just academically and in court, but also on courts and fields. Last year, we knocked off 2 number 1 in the nation teams, baseball over UCLA, volleyball sweeping Brigham Young. Of course, volleyball went on to defeat Duke in the NCAA tournament, and then unfortunately we lost to Stanford, which went on to win the national championship. So I say we were number 2 in the nation last year in volleyball. Join the pride. In last year's Convocation, titled Today and Two Tomorrows, I talked about the difference between the future we expect, that's the world we want to live in, and the world toward which we seem to be drifting. I encouraged us to believe that LMU possesses a unique opportunity to resolve our possible futures, to help the world choose wisely between them. This year, I will elaborate on how I believe LMU can address that difference, to envision with you the educational experience we can provide. This vision effloresces from our mission and has the potential to cultivate the emergence of a better world. As a roadmap for today, I begin with a statement, and this is one you likely have heard before because it is enshrined in our Lions Code. In faith, the sentence begins. The lion grows to be fully alive, clear in thought, rich in vision, and vigorous in act. That, in a nutshell, captures not just who we've always been as a university, but also where I see us heading. Becoming a university that, better than any in the world, forms human beings fully alive. It does so across 3 dimensions. First, we form persons clear in thought, who realize their full capacity for intellectual rigor, distilled reason. Second, we form persons rich in vision, who imagine with their full creative capacity, distilled imagination. And third, we form persons vigorous in action, who choose wisely and act courageously for the greater good, distilled ethical discernment. If we pursue educating toward these 3 ends to the potential I know we already possess, we will contribute more than any other university to creating the world in which we want to live. Today's talk will have 2 sections. First, I will focus on these 3 dimensions of whole person education. Then I will describe the process by which we will plan together how we can advance our educational mission strategically toward lasting impact. The 3 dimensions: reason, imagination, discernment. With reason, I return briefly to those 2 tomorrows. How do we engage with each of these futures? We use reason to divine where we appear to be headed, tracking the trajectory of present phenomena to discover their likely destination. reason can help us divine the future. Reason is divine in origin, but it requires us, as the Lions Code reminds us, to be clear in thought, a necessity as we navigate toward a better world. Clear thought requires discipline. The discipline scientists use to estimate the projected rise in planetary temperatures. The discipline economists use to estimate the likely effects of taxing fossil fuels. The discipline journalists employ to probe what leaders say and then report their findings vividly and accurately. At LMU, reasoned discipline within and between our academic disciplines is taught and practiced. I think, for example, about how Professor Jose Garcia Moreno, in his animation classes, emphasizes the importance of the animator's understanding of classical principles, posing animation as ultimately a way of thinking. So while other institutions begin with how one places pen to page, this approach exemplifies reason as foundational in our pursuits. Reason, while necessary, is one of several facets we require to create that world in which we want to live. Disciplines of reason predict a future we might expect, but we also need to imagine our alternative futures, the plausible what-ifs and why-nots that lie beyond our reasoned scope. To engage alternative futures, to prepare for their dangers or plumb their possibilities, we need imagination to expand our intellect, to partner the creative with the reason-enabled disciplines of our practice. Now, imagine that the earth could be other than flat, that we might not be the center of the universe, or that right now we may inhabit one of billions of God's universes. In my convocation 2 years ago, I outlined how higher education remains astonishingly bereft in imagination, and where LMU is positioned to take the lead. We are blessed with advantages other universities lack. Let's take inventory. Our Jesuit and Marymount heritage, with Ignatius's emphasis on the contemplative imagination and the Sisters of the Sacred Heart of Mary's devotion to the arts and their ability to enliven. Our Los Angeles location in the international capital of creativity. Our strengths in the fine arts, the liberal arts, the narrative arts of film and television. Our professional curricula across creative enterprises like engineering, marketing, computer science, creative accounting, at least where the standards permit us to be. Our commitment to diversity of all kinds, which I continue to affirm is the font of creativity. Our Academy for Catholic Thought and Imagination. We are better positioned than any university to lead in educating the human imagination, and we will. Clear in thought, reason. Rich in vision, imagination. We are also called to action. But to create through action the world we want to live in, we need to prepare students to discern their and our desired future. That is the world we want to live in. Discernment has a specialized meaning in Jesuit life. St. Ignatius teaches us to discern among spirits. That is, to examine and sift among our experiences, to listen carefully for the voice of God and ultimately choose the better path. The necessity to which Ignatius's discernment of spirits speaks, informing choices with insight and a sense of what is right, longs for what we might now call ethical discernment. And it is fundamental to the educator's task of cultivating virtues that form wise and discerning persons. In the face of epochal changes, Pope Francis, along with Alan Deck, reminds us that the church and its works must form consciences that seek to put on the mind of Christ in our actions and choices. Problems stand before us: climate change, violence, unintended consequences of invention. These are not just failures of reason or even failures of imagination. They are also failures of ethical discernment or moral will. I think about the combines and cooperatives, comforts and conveniences that have furnished our rising global temperatures. They started as triumphs of reason and imagination working together, but collectively they've also been accompanied by failures of ethical judgment. The internet began as a triumph of reason and imagination, but it routinely exhibits epic collapses from our haphazard regulations and our use of it. I remind us we have evolved for existence in small communities, sized roughly 12 to 30. Yet we are now dancing within and about a circle wholly unknown to us, one for which natural selection is too slow to provide an answer. We at LMU are uniquely equipped to provide such solutions through education in ethical discernment founded in our commitments to faith and justice. Our mission, Service of Faith, draws attention to what higher education often overlooks, and that's the heart. A discerning person is one who not only knows how to listen to their heart, but also how to interpret their heart, to interrogate it, challenge it, explore it. In the same way, the pursuit of justice proceeds from ethical discernment. Cornel West describes justice as what love looks like in public. Our best alums, how about a shout out for our alums? Many are here today. Our best alums see discernment not as some private reflection, but something that can be realized across society, and they are biased toward the most vulnerable. The distinctive elements of Jesuit Marymount education, the primacy of context and experience, the vitality of reflection, action, and evaluation, the richness of human expression provide beams toward forming persons who know how to discern ethically, choose wisely, act courageously, and build justly. I sum up what we do by saying, you've heard me say this, all we do with purpose. Reason, imagination, and ethical discernment are the cornerstones of purpose. These dimensions reinforce one another, as when a third dimension of an object coheres with its first and second dimensions, each enhancing its two counterparts. I know this from my own experience. As a mathematician, I practice a discipline that classically epitomizes reason. I'm also a musician called to create artistically by drawing on my imagination. Yet, my musicianship does not compete with or undermine my mathematicianship. Rather, in ways of which I'm typically not conscious, I draw on the logic, the orderliness, the proportions of math as I structure a new musical composition. And then I draw on the playfulness, the invention, the vitality I know from music as I encounter a mathematical insight. Each dimension expands, sometimes even changes the other. Third, I am a Catholic, a center to my identity which enriches my other dimensions with a foundation of faith and hope and an ethical commitment to bettering the world. This is a dimension that gives greater meaning still to those of math and music and other dimensions, at least in my life. And I see this multidimensionality around us each day in the joyous endeavor we call LMU. Professor of psychology Cheryl Grills and her students employ reasoned discipline to analyze broad systemic problems in mental health. Imaginative empathy to understand how those dynamics affect individuals, and ethical discernment to bring a richer understanding of context, leading to what we might do given these insights for all of us, our society. When engineering professor Rachel Adams and her students head to Santa Monica Bay with thin plastic sheeting that they pick up at Home Depot, they bring with them reasoned discipline to measure and analyze toxic waste levels. They bring imagination to envision new models of toxin movement detection. And they bring ethical discernment to improve access to clean drinking water and to mitigate future environmental damage. This dynamic likely connected most of us to LMU. Now, each of us puts this three-dimensional puzzle together a bit differently, but each of us becomes more fully human, more fully alive when we learn to integrate rather than separate the fundamental capacities of reason, imagination, and ethical discernment. Higher education is complete only when it takes a whole person, whole mind approach. And the academy has focused on reason as primary and imagination and ethical discernment as also-rans. Incomplete, short-sighted. Knowing I can navigate a given maze is one thing. Knowing why I am doing so, what my completing the maze might mean to others, or how I got myself into this maze in the first place, rests in human creativity and conscience. Well, let us move now to the second, I promise, shorter segment of the talk. This is the what we do about it. And let's start with two discomforting truths. Discomfort is good, right? First, no one in higher education addresses what I just described. Second, even at LMU, where we consciously try to attend to all three of these elements, and where we have made strides, more work stands between us and the realization of our potential. We are called to pioneer. But how should we proceed? By reasoning together, imagining together, discerning together our future. Today, I call on our university community to undertake a new strategic planning process during the year 2020 to select the priorities that will guide us over the next 5 years. That'd be 2021 through 2026. I have asked John Parrish, professor of political science and special assistant to the president, to lead this process. A successful university strategic plan must begin with a distinctive vision of the kind of academic and transformational excellence the institution will prize and prioritize. And it must integrate that vision with a plan for how its people, practices, finances, infrastructure, external relations can support and advance that vision. Our strategic plan must have at its center an academic vision that capitalizes on LMU's distinctive potential to be educators of the whole mind and the whole person. And so as we begin to deliberate together, I ask our community to be guided by the following foundational question about our future. How can we best prepare our students to reason rigorously, imagine richly, and choose discerningly the world in which we want to live? Often strategic plans fail because they consist of too much plan and not enough strategy, or too much breadth, or a timeline that stretches into some unknown next generation. We will avoid these tendencies. I ask for a focused plan, focused in time span, focused in the number of main priorities, and focused in choosing what is most important for us to do, even if that means that other worldly things are selected not for emphasis in the here now. For this plan, we need each of us. Our faculty, with the primary responsibility for our academic life, for shaping and sustaining an intentional curriculum, and for fostering an intellectual climate in which all can flourish, you must not let this rest. Our academic vision must be ready to meet society where it is going, as well as remain fully attuned to the timeless truths spoken by our Catholic, Ignatian, Marymount, and liberal arts traditions. Guide us in articulating that vision and in embracing new avenues of scholarship and creative work that support our students' success. Our staff, with the primary responsibility for ensuring excellence in the areas that support academic, student life, and transformation, you must not let this rest. Your innovative and collaborative spirit make you aware of the world and the ways in which it is changing. Support us in ensuring that the whole person experience we provide fully engages the development of our students' reason, imagination, and ethical discernment. Trustees, regents, alumni, donors, and friends, we need you to share your wisdom and your love of LMU, to help us envision where we might go in a way that will benefit the world you inhabit and that will inspire your support and continued devotion. You must not let this rest. Challenge us. Dream big dreams for and with us. Support us generously as benefactors and as volunteers. Students, you know better than the rest of us the nature of the world you want to live in. You must not let this rest. You must share that vision with us. And you must work hard to make the most of your years at LMU to, as Dean Robin Crabtree loves to say, live the life of the mind. To realize the potential impact you can have on the emerging world as persons for and with others, as vectors for the greater good. I began by quoting from the Lion's Code. In faith, the lion grows to be fully alive, clear in thought, rich in vision, and vigorous in act. I conclude with another quote from the Code, and this is one that speaks to our capacity to influence the future and our responsibility to do our part for the greater good. It says, "Some will pass through and never inhabit this place. Others will be here, but never shape this place. Yet those who embrace our life-giving traditions give form and force to this place, just as those traditions inhabit and shape our mission, the encouragement of learning, the education of the whole person, and the service of faith and the promotion of justice. In this tradition, among this community, within this academy, you are asked to stand, learn, and be in the world. You are asked to be a lion." Faculty, staff, students, trustees, regents, alumni, donors, friends, as we begin this process of strategic planning and as we strive to complete the good work we have already begun. I ask you to stand as community, as academy, to learn and to be in the world, clear in thought, rich in vision, vigorous in act. I ask you, us, to be lions together for the good of those here, for those to come, for the earth itself, and for the greater glory of God. Go Lions. Thank you.
Thank you, President Snyder. That was really inspiring. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you on the internet for joining us on our live feed or watching this later on. For those of you who are here, please join us for lunch to this side of the chapel. And for those of you at home, go grab a sandwich from your fridge